Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to episode 7, my favorite number, lucky number 7. Episode 7 of the Courtship Code, brought to you by Black Muslim Single Society and hosted by me, Zara J. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 7 for another week of Courtship Code podcast. Again, as always, thank you guys for the positive feedback and for sharing and posting. And, we see your comments on Facebook, or you comment on Instagram, or send us emails and let us know your thoughts on the show or things that you would like us to discuss and talk about. So thank you so much for the love and support. I'm so glad that you guys are benefiting and learning, and that, inshallah, this information will actually open up some doors or increase your confidence around courtship, single life, or, pursuing marriage. So as always, again, we have 2 events coming up. We have the DMV social. We also have the Houston social. No matter where you are in the country, feel free to travel and purchase your tickets to it. Go to blackmuslimsinglesociety.com to our events page so that you can see what's going on as far as events. Always, put your profile in the system when it comes to having your profile listed so that we know you're available and what you're looking for, and book a consultation for premium matchmaking so that we can do some coaching with you. Get to the bottom of what are some of your mindset blocks and some of your blocks around pursuing someone for marriage, and so you can go after it in a very positive way, and also so we can get you introduced to some matches, inshallah. This week, what are we talking about? So this week, guys, we're going to be talking about wearing your age with honor. And fellas, you can listen in on this because all these things apply to you too. But when I'm speaking about this, I'm really targeting women with this week's podcast episode. And again, number 7 is my favorite number. So I'm glad to be talking about this topic this week. So I'm going to break down for you 5 ways to wear your age with honor, what that means, what that looks like, and what you can do about that. Because this is a major issue that I see working with matchmaking over the last couple of years with the Muslim community, particularly, is this issue of wearing your age with honor. So we're going to jump into that. So make sure, again, as always, you can always have your little notepad out, have a little pen and paper, send yourself a text or a little note in your phone, just so you can remember some of these principles, or you can just take mental note to remember these things. But make sure that you pay attention and you really think about the things that I'm sharing with you so that you can improve some of the ways that you're going about courtship, or how you might be coming off to the opposite sex. Now, why are we talking about wearing your age with honor, and who is this for? Okay, so this particular episode is targeted towards women over the age of 35. Now listen, 35 is super young in the game, right? Don't be fooled. Don't let anyone else lie to you. 35 is young in this world. Inshallah, you'll be blessed to live on this earth for 70, 80, 90 years. 35 is nothing. 40 is nothing. 45 is nothing. 50 is nothing, okay? If you are blessed with a long life and you are planning to be here for a while, inshallah, let's say you are a woman that's in your late 40s, your early 50s, whatever, you might have another anywhere from 20 to 30, maybe even 40 years left on this earth. So I'm giving this message to you, my sisters, because what I have witnessed in the Muslim community, particularly doing matchmaking since 2015, and all the various men and women that we have worked with, but especially the women, is that women really let their age get to them. And somewhere around the age of 35, to their early 40s, women start developing a lot of negative and limiting mindsets around marriage, around relationships, around the opposite sex that really creates roadblocks in allowing them to move forward. Maybe that biological clock is ticking and you haven't had children yet, or you desire to have more children. So you start putting yourself under mental pressures that it's not going to happen. There's no one out there. Time is running out. And then you act out of that pressure, right? You either act in desperation or you act out in frustration, right? But one of them Asians is going to come up. Maybe you start feeling a lack of confidence in how you look, or you're too focused on career, or whatever it is that you start putting up all these mental blocks that's going to create a disconnect between you and the opposite sex. You start seeing your peers get married. Maybe your peers are getting divorced. Maybe you're newly divorced. Whatever that is, I see this happen a lot more in women than I do with men. So I really wanted to make sure that this podcast is encouraging, but at the same time, a candid reality check, like, girl, get it together. Wake up. It's not over, girl. You are in the second inning. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's not time to give up. Wake up. Wake up out here, okay? So what? You are not 28 anymore. Who cares that you're not 25 anymore? It's not that. Really, it's how you internalize it and how you allow that to manifest in your thoughts and your actions with how you interact with the world and how you interact with the opposite sex. So I'm going to break down 5 tips. But again, it's really important that if you are this type of woman and you know that you sometimes allow your age to frustrate you, or you allow your age to kind of talk you into thinking that, oh, there's nothing good out here. Oh, I'm too old. Oh, nobody would want me. Oh, I have too much going. Whatever it is that you're allowing your age to show up, you're only self-sabotaging yourself. Okay? And again, fellas, I know lots of men listen to this podcast, so thank you guys for listening. And these things can definitely apply to you too. Don't get it wrong. Lots of men struggle with growing more mature as well. As those gray hairs start coming through, little bit of belly, little bit of weight gain, a little bit of hair thinning. I see you, brothers. I see you. I get it. Okay. I get it. But you want to make sure that you embody these same principles and that you don't start feeling as though you're aging out of the game. Again, if you are in your late 30s, your early late 40s, your early 50s, you are still new in the game. You are still young in this game. You can still win at relationships and marriage and courtship. There's no reason to feel like your show is over. Okay? There's no reason. Please, 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 I beg you to not be one of these singles who decides at 38 that they're going to give up and they stay out of the game until they're in their 50s. Now they're a little frustrated with the pool of options in their 50s or in their 60s. Take advantage of your youth, right? That's what we're taught in Islam, right? Take advantage of your youth. Do not allow it to hold you back. And even though you might be on the more mature side of youth, or even on the other side of youth, if you want to be like, look, I'm not young anymore, I'm 45, whatever, okay? That's fine, but don't allow it to hinder you. So what are some 5 tips? What are the 5 tips I'm going to give you today to help you to wear your age with honor? Number 1, the number 1 thing I want you to remember with wearing your age with honor is to always have fun. Always have fun. I know so many times if you've listened to any of the other podcasts, I have mentioned having fun, being a girl, still, having a little bit of childishness to you, right? No, don't be totally immature, but you want to be able to play around. You want to be able to have fun. You want to be able to laugh, right? You want to be able to just have a good time, let your hair down. Everything shouldn't be so serious and depressing and bills and work and kids and whatever, right? You don't want to be focused on it. When you are with that other person, you want to be able to fully live in the moment. You want to be able to show up and just give them your attention and have that beautiful, radiant smile on your face and crack some jokes and, try some things different than what you've ever done before and be a little bit more outgoing and just have that fun, free spirit, right? What's so attractive about you with your maturity is the fact that you have had different experiences and that you can actually share those experiences with someone, right? Talk about the good things that you've done. Talk about some of the mistakes that you've made in a fun way, right? Don't be ashamed of your past, but learn to have fun, right? Don't be so defensive. When you're meeting someone of the opposite sex, whether you're a man or a woman, don't be automatically on the defense, assuming that this person is going to hurt you, this person is going to judge you. You need to defend yourself. I'm not going to be controlled. I'm not going to be whatever, right? Don't allow that past relationship or marriage or those people from the past to cause you to be on a defense with this person that's in your present and your future, right? You also want to make sure that you learn to take the good with the bad while you're having fun, right? Every person that you meet won't be your future husband or wife, okay? There's going to be some wins. There's going to be some losses. It's not always going to work out, but it's okay. Just get into the habit of meeting new people. Get into the habit of enjoying just, finding out what this person likes, learning something new from that person, having that experience. Don't take it so personal that you aren't able to have fun and that you're not fully showing up and living in the moment. So number 1 is to always have fun. Number 2 is to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. And I cannot talk about this enough. You have to invest in yourself. Just because you are 40 or 50 or however old you are does not mean that you should totally just let yourself go, right? Doesn't mean you should no longer care about your appearance or your physical health. It doesn't mean that you should no longer continue to learn things or put in some type of effort. In whatever area of life that is, continue to make the effort. Continue to care. When I look at some of my favorite mature women are women like Cynthia Bailey and Kenya Moore and Elise Neal and Lisa Ray. And you have all these beautiful, fine, melanin, mature women, Taraji P. Henson, Tiffany Haddish, right? These women are all over the age of 35, really over the age of 40, some of them over the age of 50. Like Cynthia Bailey's in her early 50s, right? They still dress mature, they dress age appropriately, but they dress young, right? So they're not all boring and homely looking. They still keep up their physique. They still keep up their physical appearance. I bet you they smell good. Their makeup is good, right? They haven't given up on the game. They are still very viable contenders in the game. And no, you don't have to be the most stylish, or you don't have to wear a face full of makeup or any of that. No one is saying that, right? You don't have to have an Angela Bassett body, right? But still allow yourself to be a contender in the game. Don't just give up. Don't feel like you just, oh, I'm old, I no longer have to. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Keep yourself as a viable option, right? And you know what a viable option looks like to you. Do not allow your age to be an excuse for that. So invest in yourself, invest in learning, invest in your education, invest in going to events or doing fun things, but keep yourself up, right? In whatever area of life that is. Number 2 is definitely to invest in yourself. Number 3, this is a hard one, okay? And this is for men and women. Listen closely. Here's what I want you to do. As you're listening to this podcast, or when you're done with it, I want you to list out your type. I want to know what your type is, right? Your physical type, your educational type, your, whatever type of man or woman it is, status-wise, right? Financial type, whatever your type is, right? That type that you're so attracted to, the type that is your ideal man or woman. I want you to list out the characteristics of that type and then rip that paper up and throw it in the trash. I repeat, rip that paper up and throw it in the trash. Okay? Because if your type was working for you, you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. Okay? So I'm going to need you to get unstuck from your type, because the reality is your type might be keeping you single. Your type might have been what you married in the past, and what you probably learned doesn't work for you, but it's within your comfort zone, so you're scared to try something different. That long laundry list, all those demands that you absolutely must have in a man, I need you to relax. All those things that you absolutely must have in a woman, that's your type, that you've always dated, that you've always gone for, I need you to throw that type in the trash. Okay? Sorry, bruh, you're 45. You don't have to go after the same type of woman you went after in your 20s. You don't have to go after the same type of woman that you went after in your 30s. It's okay to evolve. It's okay to expand your mind and expand that band of options. But the more limited that you keep yourself, the more you're limiting your options for a potential suitor. So you have to open up that type and get rid of that. Stop being stuck on what doesn't work. You have to get stuck on something new, stuck on trying something new. So for number 3, again, with how to wear your age with honor, is to toss out that raggedy old type list that's keeping you single. Okay? It's time to try something new. Fresh start. You're more mature. You are going for something different. Don't get stuck on that past type. Number four. So far we have always keep the fun. Number 2 is to invest in yourself. Number 3 is to get rid of your type. And number 4 is to not be dismissive. Don't be dismissive. Now, what do I mean by being dismissive? That means that before you meet that man or that woman, you've already decided that they don't qualify. Before you actually have a conversation or a face-to-face meeting, you're already checking off all these boxes of what they do or they don't fit. You are very quick to dismiss someone based upon very little knowledge of who they are. You've already committed to not seeking understanding and to simply make judgment upon them as a way to protect yourself and to quote-unquote not waste your time, or to quote-unquote not waste their time, right? Because you may always be stuck on a type, or you might have all these predetermined ideas of what you absolutely need or what you absolutely won't deal with, you might be short-sighting yourself by dismissing people before you actually get a chance to get to know them, right? That ideal man or woman might not come in the exact package or the exact situation that you might desire. There might be some holes in that package, right? It might be some holes in that circumstance, but that person might be every single thing that you're looking for, and you haven't been promised a spouse or a marriage without tests. So there's going to be some imperfections, and the quicker that you can wrap your mind around the fact that you are no longer flawless, you were never flawless, right? And this other person is going to come with things too, and everybody over the age of 25 comes with some sort of baggage, right? The moment that you can wrap your head around that and be willing to accept that you might have an imperfect partner that's perfect for you, then you aren't going to be so dismissive. But you have to really open up your mind to what might be ordained for you and not shut people down before you even get a chance to really get to know them. So number 4, again, is don't be dismissive. And number 5, the last thing that we're going to talk about today, which is going to be one of the harder pills to swallow, is to make the first move. Ooh, I know that's hard for some of my ladies to hear. But you might have to make the first move. That doesn't mean to chase. There is a difference between making the first move and chasing someone. But a lot of times, ladies, I'm talking to you right now, a lot of times men aren't really sure if you're looking. You might not be as open, as in your vibrations and your energy and how you allow men to approach you. You might not be making yourself very approachable. You may be leading a more insular lifestyle where you're spending more time at home and at work, and you're not really as social as you used to be, or going out places or spending as much time with friends. So you might be meeting people online or through friends or whatever. You might just see someone around that you might be interested in. But a lot of times you're going to have to make that move, because men might not know that you're single. They might assume, because you're a little bit more mature, that you may already be married. They might feel as though you're not looking, because a lot of women step themselves out of the courtship game. Once they reach a certain age, they're no longer really being bothered. So a lot of times you're going to have to put yourself out there a little bit more. That doesn't mean you have to be a thirst bucket. That just means if someone catches your eye, you might want to tell a friend or a family member, like, hey, do you know that person? Are you able to get some information? You think you can introduce me to them? You may have to slide in a DM, take it to the playground and slide in a DM, right? You might have to go ahead and do that just to let them, be aware that, hey, you're interested. And you don't have to come hard at them with, hey, I would love to know if you're available, or are you single? You don't have to do all that. You can just say, hey, what's going on? Hey, I saw that post that you made. I thought it was hilarious. Oh, what do you think about this topic? Or, how are you doing today? I mean, really, honestly, when it comes to approaching men or sliding in their DMs or sending someone to ask about them, men are very, very receptive to a woman showing interest. And I know a lot of women, they feel as though, no, if the man is going to be interested in me, he should approach me. And that's true. And I do think a man should show interest, and I do think a man should do the chasing and put in the work in the beginning. I do totally agree with that. But like I said, the trick is, a lot of times with women who are a little bit more mature, a lot of times men don't even know that they're available, or that they're looking, or that they're going to be what that person's looking for. Don't make it a thing about age, ladies. Oh, they're going to want younger women. Oh, that right there is a limiting mindset and a limiting belief. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to wearing your age with honor. Why wouldn't a mature man want a mature woman? Why wouldn't a man, if you're taking good care of yourself and you're a great catch and you're fun to be around and you have all those other qualities that we talked about in episode 6, why wouldn't a man want that? So don't allow yourself to have a negative mindset when it comes to your age that hinders you from making that first move. If he's showing a little bit of interest, if he's flirting a little bit, if he's being a little bit friendly, then, you might want to just, initiate the contact so that he knows it's a safe zone. All you're doing is giving a little flag. You're just, winking a smile at him, doing whatever you have to do to just let him know, hey, it's safe to approach me. It's safe to have a conversation with me. I'm open to the conversation. And then from there, you allow him to take the ball and carry it the rest of the way if he's interested. And if he's not interested, then just leave it alone and move on to the next. It's not that big of a deal. But that's why you're probably better off just sparking a friendly conversation of, hey, what's going on? Or saying something playful or flirtatious, just to kind of get the attention, and then see how he responds and see if he carries the ball, rather than you just going hardcore and, hey, are you looking for marriage? Hey, are you single? No, you don't need to do all that. Just, be playful, have fun, and take it really lightly. But you might have to make the first move, and you have to get comfortable with that. And if you take this advice and you go for just a playful, fun conversation piece instead of going hard on, are you looking to get married? You shouldn't feel that same amount of pressure or fear around conversing with that person or showing a little bit of interest. That is the difference between making a hard play and maybe coming off a little aggressive versus just being open and approachable so that he can decide where to take it from there. So again, let me run over those 5 qualities for you again. That's number 1, always have fun. Number 2, invest in yourself. Number 3, get rid of your type, throw that trash out. Number 4, don't be dismissive. And number 5, make the first move. Again, it's really important that you wear your age with honor, that you don't allow it to hold you back. And I really want the best for you, and I really want you to be positive and motivated. Help me help you. Help me help you. But you have to have a winning attitude, a positive outlook, and you have to believe in yourself, and you cannot allow your maturity and your aging to hold you back to believe that the road has come to an end for you, okay? It's not over. It's not the end of the game. You are only in the second inning, and it's time to win. So thank you guys so much for listening to episode 7 of the Courtship Code. Share this with your friends or your family or someone that needs to hear this. I know there's someone that you know who needs to hear this week's episode. So make sure that you share that. Hit subscribe on the YouTube channel or hit the star on the Anchor app so that you get updates and notifications and you're always able to listen to the show. Thank you guys so much. I hope to speak with you really soon. Inshallah, next week for episode 8. And you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Assalamu alaikum.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.